Well, good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for this episode, I wanted to get on here and talk a bit, just a couple of things, some general uh, pro wrestling stuff. Um, Going to talk about Hulk Hogan. Going to talk about just my thoughts on the Stardom High Speed Championship. Um, they just also crowned new Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions. Um, Syuri had elbow surgery. I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Talk about a lot of things in this episode. But first, want to start off with Stardom. First off, congratulations to Azumi on a first successful defense of the NJPW Strong Women's Championship, defeating Bozilla. Not surprised that that happened. Um, Many could possibly say Bozilla might be going kind of a similar route to, say, Megan Bain. You know, appears dominant, looks to be dominant, but not able to win the big one. But like I said, I honestly didn't think Azumi was going to lose in her first defense. So, not surprised at the outcome. Megan Bain wasn't able to win a singles title during her time in Stardom. The best she's been able to do is win the Goddess of Stardom Tag League with Micah as Divine Kingdom. But I think with Bozilla, it's probably going to be different because it looks like she's legit signed to Stardom. So I think there's a much better chance of her becoming a champion. So just wanted to throw that out there. May Sarah, another successful defense of the High Speed Championship over Honoka. Of course, Honoka is from Pro Wrestling Wave. And this marks May Sarah's third successful defense of the title since the rule change. Now, I wanted to talk about the High Speed Championship with these new rules. I don't like the new rules. I really don't like the new rules. And I think with these new rules, it's really just severely downgraded the prestige of the title, if you ask me. I find it really, really hard to really have some excellent matches under a 10-minute time limit, 2 out of 3 falls. That's just the short time limit with the 2 out of 3 falls. Just it cheapens it. It really cheapens it. Now that's not to say that an average high speed championship match before the rule changes wasn't between like what 8 and 10 minutes. Typically around that range, maybe 7 to 10 minutes. But they were regular matches. They weren't 2 out of 3 falls. And with these 2 out of 3 falls matches so far, May Sarah, first defense, 5 minutes and 8 seconds, 2-1. Second defense, 3 minutes 15 seconds, 2-1. And then the most recent one, 5 minutes 16 seconds, 2-0. That's really short. And this is supposed to be for a championship. And it kind of, I hate to say it, but it kind of makes it feel like it's demoted to the level of like the WWE Speed Championship. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. But I just really feel like that's what it does now. It really dethrones or devalues the high speed championship. 1 second. I'm trying to plug my phone in my charger. But I just really feel like.
What in the world? I'm recharging.
Yes, you are. I feel like it just devalues the high speed championship. And we gotta remember, Stardom didn't originally own this championship. This was under Neo Japan Ladies Pro Wrestling, and then Stardom in 2010 acquired the rights to the high speed championship. Because it actually used to be called the Neo High Speed Championship. But, anyways, I don't like these rule changes. I really don't like these rule changes. And my thing is, and I know this is, May Sarah's second reign with the title, and she's at six successful defenses so far. My thing is this: with the new with the new rules, it makes the high speed title matches less exciting because I used to really be into the high speed division because I mean you look at over the years of Stardom, we had some awesome, phenomenal high speed champions, and the matches were great. Matches were great. But now with these new rules, a 10-minute time limit, best 2 out of 3 falls, it makes it hard to even have anywhere close to a 4-star match. Under those limited rules. You know what I mean? It just feels so limited. If that makes any sense. So I don't know. I don't know if it was an Okada thing or what, but I'm really not a fan of these new rules. And I know some folks say, they need more high speed wrestlers. They need. Honestly, I don't think. Okay, I understand that maybe there's a lack of pure high speed style wrestlers in Stardom, but I mean, you've had different sort of folks lately that have attempted to challenge for that title. I mean, you've had Yuna Mizumori, you've had Saya Ida. When you really think about it, Saki Kashima's not really a high speed style type of wrestler. You know what I mean? So, you even had Zaina once challenged for this title. So it's like, I'm cool with there being a variety of challengers, including those that aren't necessarily high speed. Just like with Saya Ida, she's challenged for this title multiple times. When May Sarah had it, and when Saya Kamitani had it. Heck, Ram Kaicho, who I really don't consider a high speed wrestler, even challenged for it. So, Momoka Hanazono. You know what I mean? So, that's my whole thoughts on the high speed championship and what it and the state of it currently. Like I said, May Sarah's still the champion. She's, a great champion and whatnot. They've now made it really, really harder for me to get excited about high-speed championship matches because of these new rules. 10-minute time limit, 2 out of 3 falls. I don't like that combination. I don't like that combination, especially with a 10-minute time limit. I don't like that combination. So, that's just me. But we'll have to see what they do. But I don't know. It's just, at this point, it's really hard for me to get excited. Sparkling grape? Anybody? It's hard for me to get excited about high-speed matches anymore. You know, I hate to say it. Hate to say it. Cheers. Had to give me a nice cold drink. Okay. Shout out to BMI 2000. They have dethroned Wingori to become the new Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions. Of course, BMI 2000, they're from Hate. That's Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. This is Ruaka's second career championship. Remember, she's a former Future of Stardom champion, but this is now her second championship in her career, her first tag team title. So, you know, congratulations to Ruaka. This is Natsuko Tora's second Goddess of Stardom tag title reign. To be honest with you, which I know there were shenanigans, I know there was mist used. I mean, I understand why they had them pick to dethrone Wingori, especially considering they beat Fukuoka Double Crazy. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And don't get me wrong, I've met Natsuko Tora while I was in Vegas. She's really funny, really hilarious, loves interacting with the fans. I'm not all that crazy about Ruaka. I'm not all that crazy about her. You know? I mean, yeah, I understand. You know, she's been a singles champion. You know, she's Future Stardom champion. 20 years old, still young. But I just don't find her impressive. I don't find her intriguing. I mean, maybe y'all feel different, and that's fine. But I just don't think she's that good. I don't think Ruaka's that good. I mean, there's plenty of room for her to get good. Like I said, she's young. She's only 20 years old. There's definitely room for her to get good. But honestly, I don't think she's that good. I really don't think she's good. But that's just me. But I do understand the pairing, the tag team pairing of Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. But I can't see them having a very long tag title run. I just can't see it. I can't see it. They might get 2, maybe 3 defenses in, but I don't see them having a long tag title run. I can't see it. I can't see it. But, you know, congrats to them. And, you know, that was the last show before the 5-Star Grand Prix, because remember the 5-Star Grand Prix starts this weekend. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. Shout out to Marigold. They just opened up their dojo. And, you know, they had all sorts of folks there. I believe they had Shuji Kondo that, for their first session, was training the ladies and whatnot. But, hey, I think it's pretty good timing, being that they're entering year number 2 and they had the grand opening of their dojo. So congratulations to Marigold on the grand opening of the Marigold dojo, and of course they had chanko, cooked by, I believe it was Utami Hayashishita and Gochika. So thought that was really cool, and they did their training session and whatnot. So definitely happy. I don't know where they opened the dojo up, but it's live. It's open. It's live. So definitely happy for Dreamstar fighting Marigold. And don't forget, sooner or later, they're getting ready to start their Dreamstar Grand Prix very, very soon. So, should be good. Should be good. It's coming up. It's coming up. Coming up. But, let's see. Oh. Shout out to Syuri, who just had successful elbow surgery, and the surgeon even gave her a souvenir which looked like bone spurs. Kind of looked like pop rocks, but I think those are bone spurs in her elbow or whatnot that got removed. But she got the elbow surgery, so the recovery has begun. No word was given on recovery time for Syuri. I know she recently came to the U.S., competed at AEW All In Texas, and then went back to Japan to get the elbow surgery, which I believe it was, actually I think it was her left elbow. I think it was her left elbow. But yeah, speedy recovery for Syuri. Don't know when she'll be able to get into the ring again, but we'll see. We'll see. Also wish a speedy recovery for the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, who revealed just the other day on AEW that he's got 2 herniated discs in his neck. Now, he says he's going to get the surgery, and supposedly he's going to be shooting to be back in time for Forbidden Door. If I can keep it real, I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. Those neck injuries are no joke. I don't know how he's going to be able to come back and make it in time for Forbidden Door. I don't know how he's going to do it. 2 herniated discs in his neck? Oof. I don't even know if the greatest surgeon in the world can pull that off. Because, I mean, Forbidden Door is in August. If I remember correctly, that's where end of August is Forbidden Door. So the 24th. 24th of August is Forbidden Door. So, I mean, maybe if he gets the surgery ASAP, I don't know. But I don't know how he's going to be able to make it back in time for Forbidden Door. I don't see it. But ain't nothing too hard for God. Ain't nothing too hard for God. But yeah, speedy recovery for Will Ospreay. Let's see. Okay. Going to get to a little bit more of a touchy subject, or at least it's been a very touchy subject all day. I've been hearing all sorts of reactions, opinions, all of the above. And this is in regards to the recently passing of Terry Jean Bollea. Many know him as Hulk Hogan. Recently passed away due to cardiac arrest. He was 71 years old. Died earlier this morning. Now, I'll say this, because I know there's a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of different feelings, a lot of things have been said. Okay. I'll say this. One, never met the guy. Don't know him personally. So keep that in mind. Two, I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. Was entertaining, especially when he was a good guy. He was a real American, and he was a big part of the pro wrestling business in general, especially in the earlier days with the expansions of the territories, with Vince McMahon, all that jazz. NWO, all that. You know, all the feuding with Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage. A lot of history. NWO. You know, many could argue is one of the greatest factions in pro wrestling history. You know, many can argue that. There's a number of different factions that deserve to be in that discussion. And Hulk Hogan was a big name, not only in pro wrestling, also in movies, entertainment, stuff like that. You know, was in a good number of movies. Mr. Nanny, No Holds Barred. Had the cameo in Gremlins 2, the new batch. So, he's developed quite a resume. Now, I appreciate Hulk Hogan. As far as Terry Jean Bollea, it's a whole nother different story. I know a lot of you know the very controversial statements he's made, especially from 10 years ago, that he's admitted to. Supposedly he's apologized, but I can't confirm that. Because like I said, I don't know him personally. But did he say some offensive things? Absolutely. They weren't good. So I can understand a lot of animosity, a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of negativity towards who he was. But for me personally, I'm not going to celebrate somebody dying. I'm not going to do that. Whether he was good, bad, mid, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to celebrate that. You know, me, as a Christian man, as a man of God, that's not me. That's not me. If anything, for his sake, I hope he has made amends. I hope he has. And if he hasn't, I mean, Ultimately, that's between him and God. I feel for his family. You know, have to, keep the family lifted up. They're going through a rough time with this. His last appearance on WWE, I mean, he got showered with booze. So, I know that had been really, really rough. And like I said, you know, heard from many people today, just with mixed reactions, mixed feelings, feelings of, mourn, feelings of hate, many emotions, many feelings. I'll say this. Of course, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. Everybody has that right. Everybody has that freedom to feel however they feel. I can't change how anybody feels, just like y'all can't change how I feel. But can we at least admit that he played a major role in the pro wrestling business to help really contribute to how it's gotten to where it's gotten? Because when you really think about it, it's an understandable and fair question to ask. Would pro wrestling have really gotten on the path where it could go in the direction that it's gone in the way that it has if Hulk Hogan wasn't part of it? I don't think so. I would say the same thing for Vince McMahon. A lot of people don't like him for understandable reasons. But the man played a big role in pro wrestling. Love him or hate him, played a major role in pro wrestling, especially with WWE. It's where it is today. He did some good things, he did some bad things. Made many mistakes, but there were plenty of successes. I think as pro wrestling fans, I can only speak for myself, but I truly think as pro wrestling fans, can we at least admit that? Can we at least admit that? Because like I said, I'm not gonna try to change anybody's thoughts and feelings about how they view or see Hulk Hogan. Y'all have that freedom. That's on y'all. Because at the end of the day, God is the ultimate judge. And that's just what I believe. If you don't believe that, totally fine. You have a right. You have that right. But that's what I believe. It's sad. It's tragic. And like I said, I'm not going to celebrate anybody dying. I'm not going to do that. Regardless of whether I'm on good terms with somebody, bad terms, know them personally, not know them, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Because that's not me. That's not me. I just hope for his sake that he made whatever amends that he needed to make. And if not, then he's gotta answer for all that. He's gotta answer for all that. But like I said, I think it's only fair that we can at least admit the role that he played and the impact in the business of pro wrestling that he played. I think from all of our backgrounds, cultures, differences, personalities, all of the above, I feel like we could at least come to that common ground on that one thing. On that one thing. Because, like I said, who he was outside of Hulk Hogan, it's a whole different story. So that's how I look at it. But let me do the rundown. Let me do the rundown. But yep, of course, had a stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was a one-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He was WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2005 by himself, and class of 2020 as part of the NWO, the New World Order. Won the Royal Rumble twice, in 1990, 1991. He was a one-time WWE Tag Team Champion with Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland. 6-time WWF/WWE Champion. 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Champion in the Northern Division. One time. Twice in the Southern Division. And yeah, those are pretty much his big major accomplishments. But yeah, 71 years old, and somebody that I grew up watching. I grew up watching him. He was a big part of my childhood as far as getting into pro wrestling. He was a name that I saw a lot, especially WCW, early WWF. I mean, I started kind of like a little bit of NWA, but most of my absorption into pro wrestling was WCW, WWF, and just anything outside of that, friends or family had like tapes of that I would see. So that's the only thing with that. If anything, it's been a crazy week. It's been a really crazy week. I mean, the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, and then Ozzy Osbourne, and then today, Hulk Hogan. Like, crazy week. And it just goes to show, you're here today and gone tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. The only thing I can say is try to be the best you can be while you still can. And I know when it comes to the IWC, it can be pretty toxic and whatnot. But if anything, I just hope more and more that everybody in the IWC can learn to debate in good faith, to respect each other, differences aside, different opinions, But, you know, like I said, debate in good faith. And try not to stir up trouble. If it's one thing, even when it comes to wrestlers or folks that I don't like, I don't tag them in anything or make the effort. Because if you ask me, if you really ask me, I don't understand the whole concept of hating somebody and yet doing all that you can to like interact with that person or talk so much about that person, try to stir up trouble, try to be a hindrance in that person's life. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just like if there's a particular place that you hate going to, why would you make the effort to go to it if you hate it? If you hate it so much, you wouldn't even think to make the effort to go to it. But that's just me. That's just me. Everybody's different. I can only speak for myself. So that's all I can say. That's all I got. But rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, real name, Terry Jean Bollea. 71 years old. And yeah, that's all I got. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. How do y'all feel about the high speed championship? First of all, with the new rules and whatnot. How do y'all feel about Hulk Hogan? Would like to know your thoughts, opinions. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. Y'all have a blessed day tomorrow. We'll see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Peace.